that it is real, that it is painful, it is brutal. And I'm standing here before you, willing to take the hate, willing to take all the negative messages and tell you that I beg you to wake up, to speak out, and to not fall for this.
In a time where anything can hit social media within seconds, nothing stays just a rumor for long. One look, one casual comment, or a few seconds of video can make millions pause, replay, and examine every detail. And most major stories don't start with official announcements. They start with small, unexpected moments just like this.
Exposed TPUSA for lying.
How did you find out Charlie had been shot?
I was at my mom's doctor's appointment. I put my phone down and it was on silent, so I had no reason to look back at it. When I moved my mom, I went back to grab my phone, and that's when Mikey started calling me. Called me within seconds.
She said that Mikey called her within seconds, which does line up with this clip of Mikey McCoy, Charlie Kirk's chief of staff, picking up his phone as soon as Charlie was shot. We talked about this a couple weeks ago and about how bizarre and weird it was, his reaction, not running, not jumping to Charlie's aid, but instead making an immediate phone call, kind of like he knew that things were about to go down. Not saying he did, but that's what it looked like. And this led to the TPUSA folks responding, saying, no, Mikey was actually not on the phone.
The growing conversation around the name Eleanor King is one of the clearest examples of how a story can unfold through silence, uncertainty, and the spaces between facts. This isn't a case built on solid evidence. It's built on gaps that people can't stop trying to fill. Before everything spiraled, Eleanor wasn't someone who appeared in headlines. She wasn't a public figure, and she certainly wasn't someone chasing attention. Most people saw her as quiet, gentle, and always standing just slightly behind her husband, Caleb King, a rising conservative voice and the leader of the Future Point network. Together, they attended events, supported each other at programs, and presented themselves as a calm, steady, dependable team. To many, Eleanor was simply the loyal partner working quietly in the background. But that familiar image changed the moment something unexpected happened to Caleb. When people looked for official explanations, clear reports, or statements from those involved, nothing came. Silence filled the space where answers should have been. No full updates, no detailed statements, just scattered pieces, a short event clip, a line someone overheard, an unclear social media post. All floating around like puzzle pieces with no picture to connect them. And in the middle of those fragments, Eleanor's name started coming up more and more. Not because anyone accused her of anything, not because there was direct evidence pointing to her, but because nearly every small detail surrounding the situation somehow included her. Subtle enough to seem harmless, noticeable enough to make people wonder, is there something here we're not seeing yet? One moment that drew major attention was a video from the memorial. Eleanor stood with a calm expression, a steady voice, hands gently clasped with no visible tremble. Some viewers saw strength, a woman holding on to faith through grief. But as social media analyzed the clip frame by frame, others questioned whether that calmness was emotional control or simply her natural demeanor. No one had a clear answer, yet everyone seemed to interpret the same moment differently. Then came the line that shot across social platforms. Nothing is a coincidence, a simple sentence, philosophical, even comforting in normal circumstances. But when posted during a time when millions were trying to connect the dots, it instantly became the center of countless breakdowns, theories, and analysis videos.
They're alleging that he was on the phone immediately. He was not. He was taking social videos, which he would send to our group chat, which we would then put on Charlie's social while the event was happening, so you could see like the crowd come in or his interactions. And we were only 2 questions into this event, so he was still getting it out to all the chats he needed to do, which he did at every event. He turns around, and it was so blaringly loud, I'm told. You would know this better than I, but this is what I'm told. It was so blaringly loud, and he was so shell-shocked, he put his fingers in his ear, but his phone was still in his hand.
Okay, so now we have 2 different sides of the story. Erika says that Mikey called her within seconds, but Andrew Colvett here says that Mikey was not on his phone, but rather just putting his hands up to cover his ears from the loud noise. Some may see this as a small detail, a potential small lie, but what I'll say to that is people who tell small lies also tend to tell bigger lies at some point. So Mikey,
People wanted to know, what was the context of her words? Was there a deeper meaning, or was it just the timing? Why did the online community latch onto it as if it were a key moment? The story became even more intriguing when small comments surfaced from people who had worked with Caleb and Eleanor. Again, no accusations, just observations. Some remembered seeing Eleanor in high-level meetings. Others mentioned quiet backstage conversations or moments where she watched the event team with an unreadable expression. Each detail was normal on its own. But in a moment filled with silence and uncertainty, they became tiny puzzle pieces the public couldn't resist analyzing. And that's exactly why the name Eleanor King moved to the center of the conversation. Not because of confirmed information, but because of everything that was still unknown. This story wasn't driven by solid facts, it was driven by feelings. No one said Elena did anything wrong. No one claimed to know what really happened. But the silence, the gaps, and the unanswered questions kept holding people's attention longer than any official statement ever could. In today's fast-moving media world, what grabs public curiosity isn't always the truth. It's the parts of the story that remain unclear. Eleanor became the focal point not because of answers, but because of the questions. And sometimes, those questions are the most powerful part of a developing story.
It was brought to my attention. I obviously have a file, a big folder of files of every angle, and I decided to track Mikey from every angle available to see, like, maybe we just missed it. And he did at some point put that phone down, dial a number, speed dial, hold down one. I don't know. Because that seems automatic, right? 0.834. That seems pretty quick. And no, he doesn't do that. We even have him in front of Charlie's car. When Charlie is brought to the car, the waiting car rather, he is still on the phone. I can show you the clip of that. Take a look at this. Don't worry, we'll slow it down for you. See him in the background with the backpack. Let's go back a little earlier in the footage and see if we can find when he actually maybe dials onto the phone. Maybe we can see him pick up the phone and begin a call before the shot takes off. And then after beginning that call, if we're following this logic, that would mean he puts his phone down until Charlie gets shot. And we were able to find what we think could be that moment. And I can tell you that it is 1 minute and 45 seconds approximately before that shot goes off. And we can watch that here. You see Mikey's on his phone here, and you're going to see he pulls it up and he starts to cover his ear again. Now, that could be unrelated. Again, we're taking a guess here. That's what made the most sense to us because we couldn't justify it in any other way. And I want to be clear, we're not here to make assumptions, okay? And we wouldn't have to make any assumptions if Turning Point USA held the truth. They could just be open and they could be honest about everything. Okay, I obviously went out to both Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvett for a statement, asked those two questions. Hey, who were you on the phone with? What's going on here? No response. Weird. Because if that was me and I saw clips going viral and people were drawing conclusions from that clip,
As people started digging deeper into the situation around Eleanor King, what drew them in wasn't a dramatic twist. It was the way each small detail surfaced in an incomplete, emotional atmosphere. There were no official reports, no verified explanations, and no clear statements from those closest to the situation. The narrative came through short video clips, social media reactions, personal observations, and Eleanor's coincidental appearances during sensitive moments. This scattered, ongoing flow created a strong ripple effect, making people feel like they were watching a story still unfolding. One thing that expanded the conversation was the wave of comments from people who said they had worked with the couple, attended events, or seen certain moments involving them. These comments rarely claimed anything specific. They mostly described how things felt. Unusual energy in meetings, unknown faces backstage, subtle changes in event planning during the weeks before Caleb's tragedy. Individually, these details were perfectly normal in large organizations. But when placed in a situation where the public was looking for clues, even the smallest detail began to seem like another piece of a bigger puzzle. What's interesting is that most of these people never mentioned Elena directly. They didn't judge her or assume she had a role in anything. Yet once Elena became the focus of public attention, any small detail, no matter how ordinary, suddenly looked meaningful. This created a cycle of speculation, where completely normal moments were magnified simply because they existed during a sensitive time. Another piece of the puzzle came from people revisiting Elena's older public appearances. Scenes that once seemed routine, her helping Caleb backstage, standing quietly during events, offering support during rehearsals, were now being rewatched frame by frame. In one resurfaced clip, Elena stands silently. In one resurfaced clip, Elena stands quietly during a rehearsal. Originally, it was viewed as a normal behind-the-scenes moment, but now the footage is slowed down, zoomed in, and dissected. A simple expression or still posture suddenly becomes enough to spark questions. Was she focused? Was she worried? What was she thinking? Was it just another work moment, or something more meaningful? These questions weren't accusations. They were simply the natural reactions people have when a story feels incomplete. Audience emotion also shaped how things spread. Loss always heightens sensitivity, and in that emotional environment, every expression Elena showed at memorials or interviews became open to interpretation. When she appeared calm, some saw strength. When she hesitated, others thought she was holding back tears. When she offered a polite smile, some viewed it as grace, while others felt it didn't match the heaviness of the moment. These reactions were normal because during painful times, people interpret moments through their own emotions and experiences. Digital media took all of this even further. On YouTube, TikTok, and X, countless breakdowns, commentary videos, reaction clips, and timelines appeared daily. Each creator focused on a different angle. One analyzed body language. Another created a full chronological timeline. Someone else collected small anecdotes from social media. Another questioned the timing of certain events. No one claimed to have the full truth, but each viewpoint attracted its own audience. Together, these interpretations formed an echo chamber that kept the story alive, expanding, shifting, and evolving. Then came the phrase the internet wouldn't let go of: nothing is a coincidence. A simple line, philosophical, familiar, even motivational in many contexts. But appearing at a time when the public was already connecting dots, it instantly became a lightning rod. People asked, what did Elena mean? In what context was she speaking? Could it relate to everything happening? Was it meaningful or simply unfortunate timing? With no official clarification, the phrase became fuel for endless interpretation. And the lack of answers only made it more compelling. As people began piecing together all the fragments, personal accounts, short clips, Eleanor's public appearances, that philosophical sentence, and endless social media analysis, the entire situation started to feel like a puzzle missing several parts. No one had the full picture, so everyone filled the gaps based on their own perceptions. This is a textbook example of what communication experts call the information gap effect. When real information is missing, people naturally create meaning using emotion, instinct, and past experiences. Not to complicate the story, but simply because that's how humans make sense of uncertainty. And that's exactly what happened in Elena King's case. Nobody is making definitive claims, yet no one seems able to stop searching for the next clue. The most compelling part of the story isn't the confirmed facts. It's the unanswered questions, the ambiguity, the missing pieces, and the shared feeling that something hasn't been fully explained. These are the elements that keep audiences locked in. Whether intentional or not, the scattered details around Elena turned her into a major talking point online, not because of conclusions, but because of the search for conclusions. Looking back at everything surrounding Elena King, the most striking detail is not a final verdict. It's the way the public reacts to incomplete information, Every clip, every comment, every quiet moment at delicate events is simply a fragment. Together, these fragments form a layered picture that every viewer rearranges differently based on their own emotions and perspective. And it is precisely this incompleteness that makes the story so gripping. When information is missing, human curiosity fills the empty space, connecting even the smallest details into a narrative. This isn't the voice of accusation, it's a reflection of how modern society works, where everything is recorded, replayed, and interpreted from countless angles. Throughout this entire situation, the public's interest hasn't focused on what Eleanor did or didn't do, but on what hasn't been clearly explained. Ordinary moments that would normally go unnoticed suddenly become significant because they occurred at the right time, in the right context, and under the right emotional circumstances to spark curiosity. In many ways, this reflects our natural desire to understand the truth, especially when uncertainty and emotion collide. At the same time, Eleanor's story shows the immense power of digital age media. A 5-second clip can fuel weeks of discussion. A simple sentence like, "Nothing is a coincidence," can spark debate across multiple platforms. A single facial expression can be interpreted in opposite ways. Information now moves faster, deeper, and farther than at any other time in history. And because of that, instead of rushing to conclusions, the most important thing we can do is the best way to approach stories like this is with calmness, respect, and clarity. Everyone connected to the situation is dealing with real emotions, real pressure, and real loss. Whatever may be happening behind the scenes, we, as distant observers, should try to stay balanced in how we interpret information, and remember that not every moment carries the meaning that social media assigns to it. If this video helped you understand the bigger, more nuanced picture, or simply gave you a clearer perspective in the middle of all the noise, I'd really appreciate it if you took a moment to tap the like button. It helps this video reach others who might also be searching for clarity. And if you want to keep exploring thoughtful, responsible, and in-depth breakdowns like this, make sure to subscribe. Just one click gives me the motivation to keep bringing you stories explained with honesty, transparency, and genuine respect for everyone involved. Thank you for watching until the end. I'll see you in the next breakdown, where we continue listening, reflecting, and uncovering the stories shaping today's public conversations.